guys, this video is going to be about exporting MP4s in particular, okay, the universal sharing video file. We're going to do a really super duper high quality version, and then we're going to do one that is really low in file size, but still really good quality. All right, let's go and do it in this video. Okay, so first up, go to 10 exporting and open up export line graph. Okay, and this is the thing we're going to be working with. Okay, we made most of this earlier on. I've added a few little extra bits. Okay, so to export it, okay, you've got to make sure you export the comp. You don't export the project, because sometimes you go up to here and it's we're going to go to this one that says add to Adobe Media Encoder. If that's grayed out, it just means you've got no comp selected. So you've got to say, I want this one, the line chart one. It's selected down here in my timeline. I want you to go to Adobe Media Encoder. Click on that. Now in the background, Adobe Media Encoder is going to open up. It's a separate program, and there he is there. There's my line chart. And hopefully by default, it might not, but we're going to pick H.264. This is the really common codec. It's going to give you the most common play on all devices at the moment. Okay, it's going to create an MP4. Everything else, to be honest, isn't used. Okay, we're using MP4s. It's the main go-to thing at the moment. And by default, it's just going to work. We're going to hit play. Okay, and that's going to start the render. You're going to watch it down here. My one's belting along because it's not that complicated animation. Okay, now you might have an animation that's got a bit of camera work, a motion blur, and blurs going, Gaussian blurs going on, effects, and that exact same animation might take 10 minutes, okay, because there's so much to do. So if you are doing stuff, you're like, man, Dan's went quick. Why is mine taking so long? It might just be that actually there's lots to do. Okay, I've got lots of animations on here that are really short that I'm doing for my own personal work, and they just take a long time. Okay, it's go off, get a coffee time. They can take 30 minutes. If they're really long, they can take hours. Okay, it's an overnight job. But to be honest, I've got nothing now that goes overnight. They're all kind of short little things for the internet. So let's go figure out where it put it. So in my exercise files, this didn't exist a second ago. That was the thing we opened up, and this thing's been created. It's the same name as my project, but it's added this AME extension on the end. It's Adobe Media Encoder. I don't like it. It does it anyway though. I'm gonna open it up and there's my MP4. Hello. Okay, so it generates that folder and puts it inside of here. It's really small in terms of file size, mainly because there's only a few colors and not much is happening, and it's only 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna preview it, and that is an HD quality, ready for the internet, awesome video thing. Okay, so that's the quick way, and 99% of your work is just going to be exporting an MP4, uploading to YouTube or Vimeo or to your website or to your WordPress site or whatever. Okay, can go to TV. There's no reason it can't go to TV. It's HD. Okay, so that was nice and simple, and pretty much that's what's going to work most of the time. I'm going to show you a couple of little things you can do to get the file size down. Let's say yours is quite big. Mine is 1.5 megabytes. I'm going to open up another file now and see if I can do something a little bigger. Okay, so I found this one. It's one we did earlier. Okay, we've got a camera going now. Things are moving around. There's a video background. Let's have a little look at the difference. Same length, basically the same animation. Okay, but yeah, let's have a look at exporting it. So we're going to go to composition. We're going to go to Adobe Media Encoder. Okay, and I'm gonna have to switch to Media Encoder. Here it is. So this is the first one that's done. It's kind of darkened out and it's ticked, it's finished. So this one here is gonna go into the same place. We're gonna do 2 renders. We'll do one at high res, okay, to see what the file size is and see how long it takes. And we'll do another one and try and get the file size super small, because we might be using it on a website that just needs to load fast, or you're emailing it to someone. Let's click play. How much longer is this one gonna take? It's not gonna take a huge amount longer, okay? It's estimating around, it started at 2 minutes, it's dropping down quite quickly. What you'll find is, as long as something's moving, okay, it kind of guesses wrong. And as soon as the thing stops, okay, this line's gonna start moving again, and then it's gonna go back up. Okay, so you might have pauses in it, and it speeds along for chunks, and then it kind of slows down for any bit of animation or those starbursts we've made. So I'm kind of just filling now while it goes along. You get the idea, okay? We'll get the editor to speed it up, go. Okay, so it's done, and yes, it took a long time. Okay, that little seconds counter meant nothing. It kind of took about double that. I went and got a glass of water. I am back. Let's go and check out the file size. So back to my exercise files under exporting, big files, AME. Okay, and here, can you see is, I know it's only 6.7 megabytes, but it is like a lot bigger than the 1.5. Okay, it's a good few multiples bigger. So let's go and look, and let's say we need to get this. It's going to be on our website, and we want to keep the file size really low. Let's look at a little bit of that. So what we can do is, instead of having to go back into After Effects and re-export it, you can actually just grab this one and say, make a copy. And the cool thing about using Media Encoder is that After Effects doesn't really do anything. You can just go back in here and start working. You can close it down, and after Media Encoder doesn't need it to be open. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use H.264. Okay, and where it says match source, we're going to click on this. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to get the file size smaller. We can untick export audio because there is no audio in this one. We've got no audio going on. So the main thing you can do is actually reduce the actual physical size of the file. Okay, you can see here on the video tab. Okay, at the moment it's full HD. I can turn that, untick that, and I might put it down to standard definition. Okay, 720. It's not going to half the size, but it's going to be a lot smaller. But let's say I can't do that. It needs to stay the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, and the main thing you can do is, I'm scrolling down here, is bitrate settings. This is the magic potion. So the way to think about this is, if you know sort of other design products, this is the quality slider. Okay, and you can actually go particularly low. And you've got two options here. You've got the target rate, and that's just saying that when it goes through every frame, it's going to try and make it about 10. But if there's complex work going on, you'll allow it to go up to a maximum bitrate of 12. Okay, so you're giving it some boundaries. Say, try 10, but go up to 12 if you need to. What we can do is we can get it quite low. So we're going to go down to 2 and maybe add a height, maybe at 5. Okay, so you can go low. Okay, I want you to target around 2 quality, but actually you can go up to 5 if you have to. And the other thing up here is bitrate encoding. This is going to go through it once and try and work out what needs to be 2, what needs to be 5. You can do it twice, and the file size goes down and the quality goes up, but the processing or the rendering takes longer. Okay, it's up to you whether you got the time to do it. If I'm honest, I just leave it at 1 pass because I can't see the difference. That's not the word. What I meant to say is that these infographics are not going to be, nobody's going to go, oh, that was pretty bad because that little bit of quality wasn't there. Okay, you might disagree. Let's click OK. And so we've got a custom one now. It's going to go into a similar sort of place. Okay, but I'm going to call this one at the end here. I'm going to call this one low res. Click save, kick back, hit play. It's going to take a little longer in the encoding because I've gone into 2 pass. Okay, and yeah, we'll speed this one up properly now. Let's go. Okay, so that one took forever. Let's go and check it out. Okay, bigger files. There's 2 in here, low res one. You can see the low res one is a lot lower in size. Let's check the quality. Okay, it's going to be a little hard to do because you're probably watching it somewhere where all places kind of have their different quality options. I'll be your eyes and ears. Okay, so low res at the bottom, this one at the top. I'm getting in real close, wait there. They are exactly the same. I can't see the difference. Okay, so you can save a lot of file size by going in and playing with the bitrate, and that's the main thing I do if I need the file size to be nice and small. Okay, if you're going up to something like YouTube, you probably want to keep it as high quality as you can. If you're going up to social media and you're not too worried about, like, because they're going to see it on a phone or something quite small, and you've got to dump loads of them up there, you probably want it as small as you can so that it's not taking forever to upload. More than anything, I guess I'm just giving you skills to go on and be awesome in After Effects. All right, that's going to be the end of exporting MP4s. Let's get on to a couple of the other export options before the end.